with pull down is a posterior oblique sling strengthening exercise. So it's going to activate the lat to that opposite glute to help stabilize across the SI joint. With the reverse lunge with pull down, we want that simultaneous activation of the lat and the glute to help strengthen across the posterior oblique sling. So with the reverse lunge pull down, the things that we want to focus on is the opposite arm and leg are going to be working with one another. So the leg that maintains a stationary position is my work leg, while the moving leg is my non-working leg. And then the arm that's going to be pulling the band down is going to be my working arm. So I want to make sure that those two are the same. Another way to think about it is the same side is going to be moving. So this arm is moving with this leg that's moving. So I'm going to inhale to step back, and as I step back, I almost want to like reach forward. So both my glute and my lat are in a lengthened position. At the bottom, I also have an option to add a little bit of internal rotation. So I'm going to bring my opposite hip towards the forward knee. So this is going to bring a closed hip position and lengthen my glute even more. So it's bringing more range of motion to this glute. And then as I exhale, I'm going to stand up, extend in the hip, and pull the band down at the same time. So I have that simultaneous contraction and activation across the sling. So this lat is turning on to pull the band down, and this glute is turning on to extend my hip. So I'm going to inhale, reach forward as I rotate towards that front leg, and then exhale to face forward as I pull the band down at the same time. If I wanted to advance this movement, I can hold a weight in the free hand. So I would hold a weight in the free hand, inhale to step back, think length both in the glute and that opposite lat, and then exhale, pull the band down as I extend in the hip. Another way to advance the movement is to add a knee press. So I inhale to step back, and then exhale, lift that opposite knee and press hard into it. And then inhale to step back. So this is also going to incorporate the anterior oblique sling, which is the sling across the front side of our body. If I needed to regress the movement or find different modifications based on my comfort, I can first decrease overall movement. So I can go from the reverse lunge to just split stance. So now my feet don't have to move. To find my split stance, I'm going to come to the bottom position, and I want my knee to be stacked underneath my hip. So I don't want the knee to be way out here, and I don't want it to be super forward. I want it to be in a stacked position, so if I wanted to lift my front foot, I could. This is how I know this is a good stance for me. Then I'll tuck that back toe and come on up. So I would inhale to lower that knee down, and then exhale to pull the band down as I extend both legs, but neither of my feet are going to be moving, so this is going to be a more stable position for me. So inhale, lower down, exhale, stand up as I pull down. Now, if all of those variations are still causing issues, maybe because of the asymmetrical stance, we can also do a squat pull down. So I would grab both bands. You can either just use one band or you can use two if you have a setup like this. I want the bands to be at that eye level. And then I would inhale to lower down, and then exhale, pull the bands down. So I have that hip extension and that lat engagement at the same time. So inhale, lower down, exhale to pull the band down. Now, if the squat position is still painful, we can also do this to a box, so we can decrease the range of motion of the squat. And then we can also find that neutral pelvic position. So if I think about having a V right here, I want to drive that left hip crease back usually, and that usually helps to bring the pelvis into a more neutral position for the squat movement. So I would drive that left hip crease back, tends to bring us back into a neutral position, and then I would inhale to come down, exhale to pull as I stand up, and then I can also lower it down to a box. So with the reverse lunge and pull down, I want to think opposite arm and leg are going to be working with one another. So the stationary leg or the forward leg is my work leg, and the arm holding the band is my work arm. So I inhale to lower down. I could add a little bit of rotation at the bottom, so think opposite hip towards the forward knee is going to add more range of motion to that glute. And then exhale, pull the band down as I stand up. I could advance it by adding a knee press or holding onto a weight. I could regress it by decreasing overall movement, such as coming to a split stance, or I can even the stance by moving to a squat position.